Hello and welcome to this first video for our newest segment about Alice in Wonderland called The Many Faces of Alice. I'm Dave.
And I am Rob.
And today, to start out with, we're going to review the 1951 Walt Disney Studios version of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, and we're hoping to do at least one review for a different Alice for the next few weeks until the Tim Burton film comes out in March.
Right.
Disney's version of Alice in Wonderland came out in 1951, and it is probably the most well-known version, and in my opinion, the most abbreviated. I think the Disney film is, for the most part, very faithful to the spirit of the two Alice books, which must not have been very easy for the studio because the books are definitely more verbal rather than visual. But the Disney studio, I think, managed to make their Alice probably the most visual of all the adaptations, with some of the best animation and artwork that the studio produced. It is also fast-paced, and it has some good, memorable sequences, including the Mad Tea Party and very funny visual gag. But like a lot of Alice in Wonderland films, characters from the sequel, Through the Looking Glass, are borrowed, such as Tweedledee and Dum and the Singing Flowers. However, something that Lewis Carroll Pierce will probably notice right away is that Disney kind of mixes characters together. For example, the Queen of Hearts is made of that character, plus dialogue taken from the Red Queen from Through the Looking Glass. And the Mad Hatter and March Hare's unbirthday bit is taken from the Humpty Dumpty character from Looking Glass. Disney's Alice, like a lot of the other Alice theatrical films, is that it did not do very well at the box office, but I think its reputation has gotten better, and it is definitely worth a look. Alright, Dave, so what are your thoughts on this version of Disney's version of Alice in Wonderland?
I thought the Dodo was a lot more established. He was a lot more to do in this version than others, and they gave him a lot more speaking parts and everything, and they dressed him a lot better than most versions.
Yeah, he's kind of given an admiral personality.
Right.
Yeah,
and his gags are like really a little more over the top than most versions. And then of course there's Tweedledee and Tweedledum. They were a lot of fun. I liked it when they would jump around and every time they'd smack against each other they'd honk.
Yeah.
And they acted like something out of like Monty Python's Flying Circus almost.
Well, I gotta say the Cheshire Cat I thought was probably the most high-looking of all the Cheshire Cats I've seen. This film is definitely going to have more visual gags and stuff because it's a cartoon and the other films are mostly live action, but it's definitely... Yeah, the film, I thought, for the most part, it had a very good look. I mean, the animation, I thought, like I mentioned, was very good, and there's some good, memorable sequences, like the Mad Tea Party sequence.
I enjoyed it when the Mad Hatter was putting all that jelly and butter in the White Rabbit's watch, and just basically destroying it, and the White Rabbit's just having a field day.
Yeah, he's having, like, a fit with it. Yeah. And the one thing I noticed, it's interesting to compare all these different Alice in Wonderland films because most of these films feature an all-star cast. Like, this film features Disney picked a lot of people that were famous in radio at the time. There's Jerry Colonna as the March Hare, and he was Bob Hope's sidekick on his radio show, and then Ed Wynn is the Mad Hatter. He was a successful radio and later a TV and film comedian. So Disney, he assembled a lot of people that were well known in radio at the time, while a lot of the later live action versions used big stars of, like, you could see like in 1933 they had W.C. Fields in that version, so they definitely follow the rule with it, with using an all-star cast.
It seemed to me like the caterpillar was like real psychedelic.
Yeah.
And I mean there was just a lot of drug references. I mean this movie came out in 1951, but it seemed like it could have came out like in the 60s.
Yeah, interestingly, I read that with a lot of the colleges that had 60mm prints of this film, a lot of college students would borrow it probably, and it was used as like a head film, so it's definitely got a taste of that in there.
Yeah.
But I think that one thing I noticed, I've read the books, both Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, over and over again, and to me I could tell what was in Carroll's book and what was made up by the studio, so I don't know if it would stick out with a lot of people, but it kind of did with me. I mean, yeah, they do change a few things, and take a few liberties, and they mix characters around.
I also noticed that Disney threw in some things that weren't in either one of the books.
Yeah.
There was also like some like weird animals, like for example the sweep-up dog who was sweeping up the path. I don't remember that in the books.
No, it's not in the books, and the doorknob isn't in the book when she's in the big room, but I think they did that because most adaptations have Alice talking to herself because that's what happens in the book, and sometimes it just goes on, but here she has somebody to talk to. Trial at the end in the book, it's the Knave of Hearts who's on trial for stealing the tarts, but they changed it so that Alice is on trial for upsetting the Queen. So there's they take a few liberties with that.
Yeah.
And I know critics at the time really tore Disney apart, especially I think British critics tore him apart for Hollywoodizing literature, and that might have been why that. But I think its reputation has gotten better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for this video, and feel free to leave any comments as usual, like did you like Disney's version, and leave any comments about this first episode, what we can do different, and we'll see you next time.